Let's talk about bully energy today because I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted with putting up with this bully energy in the world. And I have story after story after story of being bullied in different ways in my life, and I'm sure that you are too. Hi, my name is Nancy Rebecca, and I'm a nurse and I'm also a clairvoyant, but I have specialized in 25 years working with energy fields that can trigger paralyzing doubt, shut down your aura, causing you to feel small. And so I've worked with students over and over and over again to really be able to move into the energies of power and strength. When I talked about the frequency forecast that's going on in the world right now, one of the things that Spirit said was that one of the best ways that we can help in the world right now when we feel so utterly powerless is to start working in our own backyard. So I'm going to talk about not just, learning to get a black belt in karate or to learn how to be able to box your way out of a bully, how to whatever, be able to kind of physically stand up against a bully. I'm talking about the energetics because sometimes someone's not going to physically act like a bully, but their energetics can sure be darn intimidating. So let me just kind of talk about what I'm seeing kind of going on in the world, because what I'm seeing is a lot of the bullyish ways that we've been moved through the world, that's beginning to change. If we kind of want to think about a ring of energy around the world that might be 30 miles thick of bully energy, what I'm seeing now that's going on in the world is that it might be a mile thick. So we're heading in really good directions, but I know it probably doesn't feel that way to you, especially as we make that regular diet of the kind of blow by blow of what's happening in the world. So let's get our spiritual attention back on the energetics so that we can really kind of feel empowered and know that you are moving in the right direction, even if it doesn't feel very good right now. So again, I gave you that kind of global example about what's going on. But I wanted to share a story with you because in my line of work, working as a psychic, as a clairvoyant, as a medium, as a healer, as a mystic, talking about the unseen world and what's going on there, I've met my match with a lot of bullies throughout my career. And I will tell you, I've been intimidated. And even if I didn't really go toe to toe with a bully at times, I still knew that whatever actions I took, or that I had to be really careful with my words, and I know that you all can relate to this. I don't want to trigger the bully. I don't want to wake up the sleeping bear or the sleeping dragon. And so as a society, we've really learned how to walk that walk energetically so that the bullies of the world don't raise their ugly heads. Now, I'm going to say on another side that bullies are people too, and bullies have these kind of coping mechanisms, and I do totally understand the energetics of what can trigger that kind of bullyish response. And I've worked with a lot of bullies to help them kind of dismantle these really hurtful, harmful patterns. So I just want to let you know, my heart is open to bullies, and my heart's open to those who are intimidated and suffer at the hands of a bully as well. So I'm going to talk about normal energetics. I'm not going to get much into the violent side of bullies because I'm not talking there's some other steps that you want to take, but we're just going to talk about those who maybe impose their opinions on you, impose their rules on you, impose their energy on you that causes you to shut down, behave in small ways so that they don't react. Now, so I'll just share a little story with you where I've been working, doing private sessions, doing readings, helping people to heal themselves and empowering themselves through education to be able to heal themselves for 25 years now. And so I was working with this particular client, and we were making really great progress. I would see her about once every 3 months, maybe even only once every 6 months. So she was definitely doing other things like counseling and exercising and eating well and trying to get good sleep as a way to also heal herself. Also journaling, also maybe pulling meditation cards once in a while. But we were working together. What ended up happening was as she began to feel stronger within herself, her husband, her partner, her mate began to feel more threatened, began to feel as if they were losing control in the relationship, that they saw their wife really getting brighter, more beautiful, starting to really laugh, starting to want to explore different things in life, different activities, and losing weight and whatever else she was doing. But what happened with the husband started to kind of leave phone calls with threats and things like that. So he was definitely trying to bully and intimidate me to stop working with his wife. Now, I will tell you that she did stop working with me because the intimidation factor, it was just causing too many problems at home that she stopped taking classes and stopped seeing me. But then what happened was they got their church involved. So the husband went to talk to the minister of the church or the pastor, and then suddenly I had the entire church wanting to really bully me. So they started kind of picketing in front of my office. They were definitely calling me a lot. They were telling me that I needed to shut down my business, to stop seeing clients, or that at the time we didn't have enough, we definitely didn't have social media, but it would have been their form of cancel culture. So they were going to start spreading lies about me throughout the town that I lived in. And so what happened to me energetically was, first of all, I have to tell you, I felt bad. I felt guilty. I felt shame. I felt like I had done something wrong. And that's very classic with bully energy. It was like, oh, I never meant to hurt anyone's feelings. So I went to that place, first of all. I tried to talk to them nicely. That was another step that I took. I thought, well, let me come talk to your group to really explain that I'm really helping with the health of the energy field. I'm a registered nurse. I'm just working with bringing the aura and chakras into balance, which helps physical health. So definitely I was outmatched, but I still thought that they were going to be reasonable people that I could negotiate with. Now, I know as you all are listening, I know each of you has a story. It might be smaller, it might be bigger, but in that story of thinking that you can have a rational conversation with what I'm just going to call the energetics of bully energy. What ended up happening was that one day I just decided I need to stop this. I need to nip this in the bud because it's just getting more and more out of control. So I phoned them and I said, look, you need to cease and desist right now. You are no longer to cross the grounds onto my property. You are no longer to leave messages on my phone. You are no longer allowed to send other people to try to intimidate me. And if one more person crosses that line, I am hiring an attorney. I am going to the police department and I am getting a restraining order against you, and I am going to sue you for defamation of character and intimidation, whatever. Now, did I feel strong inside? No. Did I think they were going to see right through it and step right over that line? Absolutely. Did they? No. They stopped. What did I learn? What I learned was that expanding my aura, kind of standing in my strength, standing up to them and setting strong energetic boundaries worked better than my imagination and my mind told me that it was going to. Because I had this belief system that I was powerless against bully energy. And that is a belief system that it just wasn't true. But I actually had to step into it to be able to prove that to myself. Now, we are seeing that on a global scale where that kind of intimidation, bully energy is acting out on the world stage as we see the blow by blow of the energetics happening. With that bully energy, bullies can walk into a room and they can have their aura extremely expanded, really kind of powerfully kind of red and orange, and they're going to move into the room with the intention, I'm going to be in charge. Now, I've worked with enough bullies to know that they will tell me, I do this on purpose. I want to show everyone in that room who's going to be in charge of this conversation. They tell me they actually think this. And the reason why I was surprised, and you might be surprised, is because for those of us like me, I might say, oh, they don't really know what they're doing. I don't think they realize how intimidating they are. And again, that turns out to not be true, that they do often know exactly what they're doing. But then the bully energy, they'll use intimidation tactics where they may even express threats of violence, hurting, or harming you. So what can happen is that the energetics in their aura is projecting these energies so that you will feel threatened, that you will feel intimidated. So then you will shut down and you will remove yourself from the situation so that they can remain in charge. So when Spirit said, with the frequency forecast that is happening, and what are these main frequencies? The justice energy, justice frequency is dissolving injustice. The frequency of beauty is dissolving ugliness in the world. And the energy of healing is bringing a robust healing frequency to the world. And those things, those energies that are causing illness, whether it's illness in your physical body, your emotional body, your mental health, or it's illness in society and our societal systems, which is what we've been seeing big time over the past few years. That healing frequencies coming in, and it's beginning to dismantle any illness, bringing us to those higher states of health and of healing and of wholeness. So bully energy can also come in and wrap you in their energy. So if you kind of want to think of the game Pac-Man, where the little Pac-Man goes just like this, well, bully energy, their aura will open wide and their aura will completely surround your aura. And you might have been just dancing around the kitchen, baking a tray of cookies. You're ready to go to the gym, to the aerobics, your favorite aerobics class. You just feel on top of the world. And then suddenly you feel like, oh, I don't think I'm going to go anywhere. I don't know what's wrong with me. Suddenly I don't feel very good. So that might be in your house, or maybe you go to work and you're whistling and you've just bought a box of donuts to share with the office, and then you go in and then suddenly you're like, wow, I just don't feel very good. What happened to me? So that's what I'm talking about, the invisible world, which I always like to teach you about, that invisible world of frequencies. That bully energy can dominate and overtake those higher frequencies of joy and happiness. Why? Because the bully energy, the bully doesn't feel very good. So I'm just going to put it that way. They don't feel very good inside of themselves. And so when someone has that frequency of bully energy, what can happen is when your high vibe comes into the room, their vibe starts to go up to meet your high vibe. What happens is your light starts to illuminate, and then that light illuminates all the places where they are kind of broken inside, where their own heart may be broken, or maybe they were raised in a violent household or had intimidating parents. Maybe they were bullied a lot at school. And I think everybody's been bullied at school. So these kind of adult bullying or group bullying or heads of state or countries bullying, now that means that person's a master. They know how to bully at very, very high levels. But I'm talking about the individual bully is hurting inside. And we can be really vulnerable to want to help that bully to feel better. But what the bully wants, that bully energy wants, just wants you to shut your light down. That's all. Doesn't want to have a conversation about it. Doesn't want to hear an excuse about it. Doesn't want your flowery, positive, uplifting, joyful, amusing voice to try to uplift them. It just wants you to shut your light down so that their pain is no longer illuminated. So it's not your job to fix them. It's their job to fix them. And I promise you that there's a lot of people in the world that use bully energy that do seek out therapy so that they can stop doing it. They know it. They don't know why they do it often, but they know that they're doing it. So just want to say, I know that they seek help. I know for me energetically, they've come to my office and they've asked for my assistance. I know they've gone to see healers and asked healers to help with assistance to help them stop the bully pattern. It's exhausting to me when I'm around bullies. It's exhausting to you. It's exhausting to them. Why do we get so exhausted being around these energies? Because all of our energies get suppressed around bully energy. Some of you are really sensitive to bully energy and you know, ooh, I just better shut down and play small quickly before I get into trouble. So you already know how you need to respond. And that's why you go home feeling exhausted every day if you're around bully energy. But the bully's exhausted too, because they can't find anywhere where they can just be themselves. They try to access that higher frequency, their own spiritual light, but every time they try to access it, they feel sick. They feel intimidated by their own hurt and harmed experiences. And so again, it's like, if I'm going to feel bad, you all are going to feel bad with me. So there are those underlying, I always like to kind of share both sides of the fence because I've witnessed both sides. And ultimately, at our core, there is goodness there. And we are seeing, that kind of play out in the news again, where people are rising up. They may have had little personal idiosyncrasies, but now they're beginning to rise up and say no more. they're all coming together to say, we're going to shine our light together. We're going to stand in our strength together. But I will definitely do more videos about this. But I wanted to start the energetic conversation because I don't often talk about this because right now it's right in our face. And what that tells me and what Spirit tells me, it's time for us to start having these conversations. So yeah, being around bully energies, exhausted. Yeah, we need to start having these conversations more often. And yes, it is changing. It is turning around. And the bully frequency of the world is very rapidly losing its power. So thank you all for tuning in today. I've been loving all of your comments. If you want to be notified when when I send out my next video, just hit the subscribe button and keep your light shining. Keep standing up and don't turn your light down for anybody, because that's exactly what we need in the world, is all of our lights coming together to create our new bright future. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.